boys are back. It's been a while, but we've made
some time.
We've made time. We've carved out some time in our schedule. We're trying to bring the podcast back as much as we can, and it's going to be potentially. You may notice a new style, a different energy that we're bringing. It's going to be more chill, more conversational. We're just going to see where the conversation takes us. And I think what better way to get started than to talk about The Rock coming back.
Yeah. The Rock came back the other day. We had the return of a former WWE champion, which ended up being Jinder Mahal, which was weird. Like, they tried to do the swerve with Jinder, which was weird because Jinder hadn't even really been away for all that long if he was.
He was, I want to say he was off television for like a year.
He was like, has Indus really been off television for that long?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I feel like I saw them somewhat recently in like NXT. Am I tripping?
Maybe NXT, but
but he was with anyway.
The funniest part was they announced him, and you can hear everyone like murmuring, like, "Oh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?" And then it was Jinder Mahal, and you can hear the in the crowd. And it was fucking hilarious.
Well, the other thing too was once Jinder came out, it almost made it even more obvious that somebody else was going to come out.
I thought it was super. I was like, all right, they're just trolling us.
I knew it wasn't going to be Jinder.
I wasn't on Twitter or X after right after Jinder came out, but like when I was catching up, it seemed like a lot of people were like initially pissed that it was Jinder. Like they seemingly didn't know that someone else.
I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious.
Swerved.
Pretty on cue. I knew we were getting swerved. With that being said, I'll say this. Clip it, throw it on the internet, tear me apart in the comments. That Rock segment was awful, bro. That Rock segment was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it was so bad. They, first it started with them, and I'm not going to trash The Rock completely, but, because he's a charismatic he's an incredibly charismatic person. He's one of the greatest of all time. That segment was terrible. Like, if that segment made you be like, yes, we need more Rock, I don't know what the hell you watched. First it came with this weird, uncomfortable narrative of Jinder Mahal being like this anti-American guy, which is never been a part of his character. Never been a part of his gimmick, ever. He's never...
we're going to do that in 2024.
Segment went way too long. Once again, anytime they bring him back, his segments go way too long. They waited way too long to bring him out. They had Jinder going on for way too long, left him out there to dry. The Rock came out and just cut, like I said, The Rock's a charismatic guy, and he's going to deliver whatever he says. He's going to deliver it well. Cut probably the corniest promo in the history. You want to talk about America? You want to talk about The Rock's fans and the people of America? Jinder Mahal? What are we talking about, dude?
Dude,
shut up.
It was bizarre. I thought it was also very bizarre.
The Rock coming back to save and defend America. It would have made more sense. Dude, it was literally getting to the point. I was 95% sure it was going to be The Rock returning the whole time, and Jinder was going on this super weird forced tangent that I was like, is Hulk Hogan about? Are they about? I was like, is Real American about to start playing? It didn't even make that much sense for The Rock. The Rock's has never been a super USA. Yeah. It was weird and forced and corny as hell. Corny as hell. That was the corniest shit ever.
Yeah, and obviously people are pumped because The Rock came back. I'm whatever. I don't really care. It's obviously exciting to see The Rock, but I'm also just it's whatever. I'm not
want to talk about
The Rock's back defending America.
Listen, brother, you want to talk about America? You want to smell what America's cooking? Apple pie. Apple pie and hamburgers. All right, that's what The Rock is cooking on the 4th of July in America. because we hate India. And like what was that? Like that was the other thing.
It was weird.
Because everyone knows India and America have been at odds for the longest time. What is going on?
Yeah, it was super weird to see someone, a foreigner, doing the whole anti-American shtick in 2024.
Like
really weird delivery.
Pulled it
like
straight
you
in
said.
San Diego of all places. It wasn't even like it was this like stouch Republican like right wing play. And not to get political by any means, but I'm saying it's not even like it was in a super patriotic part of the country.
Yeah.
It was in an incredibly liberal part of the country. Like,
and
it was in San Diego. Like, it wouldn't have been surprising if they started doing that and people started cheering Jinder. Like, they were like, yeah, the government, fuck the government. Like, dude, like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, super weird to have Jinder go out there and do that, especially like you said, he's never been like a anti-America guy for his gimmick.
Like,
and then especially when he sang the national anthem in Punjabi and he just like, sang it, and then like no one was really like booing. And then he's like, "You guys just booed your national anthem in Punjabi,"
and it was so long. It sounded like he did the entire song.
I know.
Like, oh my god, what the hell was that?
Very odd. I'm happy you also thought it was odd because I thought I was the only one who didn't really like it. It was the corniest. It was Jinder did not need to be there. I don't know why.
I'm not even saying like The Rock can do much better than that. Like that was terrible. Like that was set up and just,
I just think
that was bad.
I just think the idea
that was
of
not good at all.
All right, we're going to announce that a former WWE champion's going to make in their comeback. It's going to be Jinder. He's going to hate America, and then The Rock's going to come back to defend America.
And then the people's champ of America, The Rock, the America's champ, The Rock.
Dude, and then the segment was, I want to say it was at least 20 minutes because I was kind of like looking at some parts of it on YouTube because they uploaded the entire thing. It was at least 20 minutes. I think it was around 22.
It was long.
And
too long.
It was like, I was just like, I was just like sitting
live,
there.
Dude, I was truly sorry to cut you off. I was struggling to watch that segment, dude.
I was like 10 minutes in, I was just like on my phone and I didn't really care. I was like, I know where this is going to lead.
I was getting like, dude, I was like cringing. Like it was like that corny.
It was bad.
It was fucking.
And then
don't want to get like monetized too hard and curse too much, but it was fucking bad.
It was fucked.
Fucked. It was awful.
And like the thing that topped it off, that I think was just like the cherry on top of badness on this bad shit Sunday, was at the very end, The Rock was like, The Rock's gonna go out to insert famous San Diego restaurant. Is The Rock gonna sit at a booth? And everyone's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And it's like, is The Rock gonna sit at the bar? All right, a couple cheers. Yeah, The Rock likes the bar. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? He was like, should The Rock sit at the head of the table? I was like, bro, shut up.
Yeah, very corny setup for that as well. Yeah, like I said, being excited for The Rock versus Roman is totally not, like, I am excited for the idea of that match. There's just things going into it. One being, I don't want it to happen at Mania this year.
Yeah.
And two, that segment did nothing for that. Like, that segment, like, if anything, it just showed, like, all right, that one time that he came back wasn't a one-off. Like, that's what, I don't know, like, in my opinion, I'll get your take, like, I don't think we're getting The Rock at this year's Mania at all. Like, I think this is probably a long-term setup for The Rock versus Roman next year. I think part of it was to show that time that The Rock came back on SmackDown, that it wasn't a one-off, and to kind of just keep that in people's mind. And it was also the first SmackDown of the new year. It was a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of... I mean, the first Raw of the new year, there's like a lot of stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, so initially I was just like, yeah, it's probably going to happen at WrestleMania. And then you're the only person that I've seen talk about that like it's not going to happen.
Dude,
at
they're
this
playing the
WrestleMania.
long game. Listen to me right now. It's happening.
I'm fully behind it.
It is
agree
happening
with you.
at next year's WrestleMania. They are not going to take a match like The Rock versus Roman Reigns and promote it and use like 3 months to promote it. Literally 3 months. Because after the Royal Rumble, that's when that's when we would figure out like what matches. If that match was happening, we would know right now. Like it would be.
He would have just challenged him.
No, that's what I mean. Like they would have already been talking about it. It would. You don't. And like I said, like part of, and sure, like there is like an inkling of me just putting it like just saying this because I don't want to believe that it's happening this year. So I will say that. So take it with the smallest grain of salt. But I truly believe like wholeheartedly that it's not happening this year. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Well, the other thing.
And it doesn't need the title.
Yeah.
So like let's get the title off Roman and then all the people that are split right now, that's the other thing. You have Triple H looking at it right now to where he's like he has people split. He literally has the fans split. Half of them want The Rock versus Roman, half of them want The Rock versus Cody.
Yeah.
So if you get The Rock versus Cody, you take the belt off of The Rock, put it on Cody, make the Cody fans happy, and then all the people that wanted Cody will now be excited instead of pissed off about The Rock versus Roman because it'll be happening next year without a belt.
Yeah.
Like they're going like in my opinion, I think they're going to do like similar to what they did with the Cena Rock match. Like they're going to take like a year's worth of like they might have like I would really 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 like to think that it doesn't happen at WrestleMania this year just because I don't want it to take away from Cody's moment. But I could definitely see a thing where it's like The Rock shows up at Mania this year, not in a match, but shows up to aid Cody in a situation where the bloodline comes out to hell. You know what I mean? In a situation like it wouldn't be Cody, like,
do you think
it would just take away from the situation for sure?
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like if The Rock did come back and was like, I'm here, Cody, everyone would be more focused on The Rock coming back at WrestleMania.
I think it would just be a thing of where it's like the bloodline is interfering, gonna help Roman win, and then The Rock's music hits. I don't think he says anything. I don't think he does anything. He just runs out, like takes out the bloodline or something, and then like Roman gets up and is like staring at The Rock or whatever, and then like Cody comes from behind and like gets him Cody Cutter, and then like wins the title and Rock.
Yeah. Well,
like, because then it's also like, because you can do that in this like you can easily do that. That doesn't take away from like a babyface victory at all.
Yeah.
It just takes away from the moment a bit because Cody is now, instead of getting a victory on his own, finishing now The Rock has gotten involved in Cody's story in a way.
Yeah.
Or you could say Cody finishes his story while The Rock, I don't know. But it's like, I could 100% see that happening. But I don't know, man. Like, I can really 100% just see Cody taking the title off Roman this year. The Rock isn't anywhere. And then Roman's off TV for a bit. And then it's like when Roman Reigns makes his return, they like are hyping up the return of Roman Reigns and whatever, he's in the ring or something. And as he lifts the mic to his mouth for the first time since losing the title, you just hear, "If you smell." That's the way to do it.
Yeah. It's also like, if you think about how busy The Rock is.
Well, that's the other thing.
They're not, like The Rock can't build for a match.
In 3 months, like, that's the thing.
He barely could show up one night a year.
Yeah. Like,
and
it's not...
like, the other thing where it's like...
It's unrealistic. Like, that's the thing. Like, when you get into the logistics of it...
Yeah.
That's why I really am super, super confident it's not happening. Because it's just unrealistic. Like, if they make it happen, it will have been... if they do it, it's being done wrong. Like, this is not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I think Triple H knows that. I do. And I think he knows, like, It's a super Vince McMahon thing to take the main event of WrestleMania from, like,
They already did it once.
They take
better
it.
not do it
They
again.
take it from Punk. Like, it would be such a Vince thing to take it from Punk again, and then to also not have Cody finish the story. Like,
Well, the
he's
other
not
thing
doing that.
is like,
That's losing. Like, so many people are gonna be pissed about that.
yeah. The other thing is like, a lot of people seem pretty confident that it's going to be Rock versus Roman at Elimination Chamber. I think that is the most bizarre idea I've ever heard in my life.
You think The Rock's flying to Australia for that?
And here's the thing. I get their stadium holds what, like 70,000 or whatever. That's fine. That's a big crowd. It's a WrestleMania stage essentially. But the thing is, you think they're going to have The Rock versus Roman Reigns not on American soil. They're going to have it air at 4 a.m. in America.
Yeah,
like, and I know there's fans outside of the United States and stuff, and that's fine, but like, this is like could be the biggest match in like the last 10 years. Like, they're gonna do it at WrestleMania.
It's gonna be the biggest match of all time.
Yeah, so it's like, it's gonna be at WrestleMania. They're not gonna put it on a premium live event, and that's going to be 4 a.m. or even 1 a.m. for
Also,
like their biggest country.
Also, everyone in that stadium wants to see Rhea Ripley main event. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Rhea Ripley should main event that.
Like Rhea 100% should main event that, defending in the Elimination Chamber.
That would be sick.
Dude.
Have her eliminate everybody.
Yeah, dude, just have her destroy everybody.
She'll probably be a baby face by that time.
You think so?
Yeah, because people were already saying that like she already started to turn face on Raw because she came out to interrupt Nia Jax. Obviously, if you're going to come out opposing Nia Jax, like, everyone is going to cheer for you. Everyone obviously loves Rhea Ripley, and she's actually a wrestler that I had. So for our social media, she was one of the wrestlers that I said, 5 wrestlers I need to turn face this year, and she was one of them.
Do you think she's going to defend in the Chamber? Dude, she should.
I think she will.
Fucking badass.
I think she's going to defend in the Chamber.
I think it's either that or her versus Nia. But I don't think they're going to do Nia.
I don't think they're going to do her versus Nia at the
Chamber. They're going to put her in the Chamber if it's a Chamber match.
Yeah.
Who's going to... Well, let's see. Who would be in the Chamber?
Probably Nia.
Nia, Becky. Chelsea. I could totally see them putting Chelsea Green.
Chelsea would be good.
All right, so then you have Rhea. That's 4. You need 2 more. Who are the other?
Dare I say a returning Sasha Banks? It's a little crazy.
Who else is on Raw?
Well, that's the problem. Is maybe Cargill?
Probably. I think there's a better chance of that happening at the Rumble.
Yeah, I think Cargill's gonna go on Raw.
I think so too.
Because they're lacking that star power. It'll probably be like.
Yeah, the women's division is pretty heavy favoring the SmackDown side.
Yeah, but it's just because like they have a lot of talented women's wrestlers on Raw. They just don't have that many stars. Is the thing. I feel like it's just gonna be a couple of like, maybe it's like the ghosts of her past. Like everyone that she's kind of beaten over the past couple of months.
Ooh, that could be it. Yeah.
Mishin, Tegan Knox, you got Ivy Nile.
Natty.
Natty, people like that.
I could see that. I could totally see that. I think Chelsea's a dark horse to win the Rumble.
Oh yeah?
A super dark, like, I don't think it's that. All right, so I don't think it's super realistic, but I am super confident that. So I would like to think that the WWE, specifically Triple H, the head of creative, they have their ideas. They have their main idea like going like, so let's say like going into the Rumble last year, they're like. The idea is that Cody's going to win, right? Yeah. And last year, going into the Rumble, the idea for the women was that Rhea's going to win. But I'm sure they run through the other option. I'm sure they run through a ton of options to be like, all right, we really think we're going to have this guy win, but let's go through some other options.
Yeah.
So,
they probably have like 5 people.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
These are 5 people. One of these 5 people is going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to run through all the scenarios.
I think Chelsea is a really interesting one. The fans are really behind her. She's super over.
Yeah.
She's a Triple H Triple H brought her back. I think it's fair to say she's probably the most successful rehire from the Triple H, and that is even with the craziness that was her whatever the tag team titles have been. Was never really a fan of them just giving Piper Niven the title. That was always so
I'm
weird.
very anti just giving people titles in general.
I think they were like, I think Triple H was finally so
fuck it, I don't know.
Dude, he
Just
was
put her
probably
with
so
her.
happy to finally have it on Chelsea and Sonya. Like he probably saw so much potential there when it didn't have. He was like, what the. But he was probably
they're
cursed.
Like, they're cursed. He was like, I'm fucking trying, man. I have so many good women's tag teams, and something just happens every single time. I don't think there's any shot Chelsea wins the Rumble.
No, I don't think. All right, so
I don't think she's in the ballpark because
I think
you know what she's gonna win. The Money in the Bank.
Ooh, I like
she's
that.
She's gonna win Money in the Bank.
Chelsea would be a great Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I also think Chelsea. It's a long ways away, but I could see Chelsea being a potential winner for next year's Rumble.
Yeah, she could if they build her properly.
Yeah, I think if over this next year, I think she will and should get built up as a singles, as a feature single star in the women's division on Raw.
I would like.
She should be.
Yeah,
she's awesome. She's good in the ring.
She's slept on.
Dude, she's slept on in the ring. She's incredibly athletic. She's good in the ring, and she's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
She is so good. Her character works amazing. And she can do the comedic work, and she can also just do the heel work. She could 100% get over as a babyface if she wanted to.
I think she would be a good leader of a 3-woman faction.
Ooh,
her, Carmella. Ooh. Throw one more person in there, maybe Sonya.
Yeah.
I think that would be have her just lead a little faction. And again, that doesn't mean she can't go out and wrestle singles matches and stuff. I do still think she should primarily be a singles wrestler. I just think she could also be a really fun leader for a little faction for the women. All
right? So let's go. I mean, the Rumble's right around the corner. Then, so what are your picks?
I'll give you early picks for the Rumble matches. I still feel pretty strongly that Cody's gonna win the Rumble.
Yeah.
I feel like it's either going to be Cody or Punk. I don't think it necessarily is going to be Punk just because I think there's a chance that could be the heel turn for Seth. Because I think there's a chance Seth turns heel before WrestleMania for his feud with CM Punk.
And then Punk is the baby face in that.
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to get away with turning Punk.
No, you can't turn Punk.
But it's also they don't necessarily need to turn Seth heel to have a feud with CM Punk. I just think it would help the feud.
I think I think it would bring out.
I think Seth would elevate his career.
I think this feud brings the heel out of Seth. You know what I mean? It makes sense.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do a full-on heel turn, even just for this feud, you gotta have Seth being full-on hate. He says he hates CM Punk. He needs to show it.
Every fiber of my being, I hate you.
Yeah, he was like, I hate you.
It's funny because we talked about it when that first happened, but it's something so childish to say, but it just packs such a punch.
Dude, and you just go, you felt it.
I hate you. And
dude.
It's oh God.
Well, damn. Dude, all right, so this is the other thing. This is my only thing with Punk, and I love Punk. It's kind of hard when I see him staring at Seth, or specifically last night, Drew. I'm like, bro, Drew would swallow you whole. Dude, I'm where he's he said to Seth, he was like, that's your last chance to disrespect me without me knocking your teeth down your throat.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that just is crazy, because I'm Seth would probably fuck him up. I don't know why. I don't know. It just made me It's just weird with him being older now and not feuding with, and he's feuding with young. You know what I mean? He's feuding with this generation of stars. Not mad about it at all. I don't know. That was stupid. Well, just specifically yesterday, I was looking at the Drew is just so Drew makes people look so small, dude. Drew makes Brock Lesnar look so small.
Yeah.
So also they've been doing Drew so dirty. Do you think he could potentially be a dark horse to win the Rumble?
I think
if you say they have 5 people that they talk about, do you think he's in that 5? Yeah. I think so too.
I think that...
Who would those 5 people be?
I'll tell you. Cody, CM Punk, Drew.
Dare I say Sammy?
Sammy.
You think so?
Could be a good one. And I'll tell you number 5. Dirty Dominic Mysterio.
Dude, no.
Give it to me.
There's no way Dom.
He's in the Bro, he's in the conversation.
Maybe.
I think he's got to be in the conversation.
He's not, bro. Nah, he's not at that level yet.
I think they're like, but what if? What if we have Dominic?
Yeah, I mean that would make him even more of the biggest
Imagine the booze
him
raining
eliminating
down.
Cody to win the Rumble. Holy shit!
Because this was what I was thinking about too.
Yeah, maybe they do discuss it.
When do you think Dominic wins his first world title?
I think it's a little bit. I think Dom.
You think before he turns 30?
How old
he's
is he?
like 27-ish, 28 maybe. I think it happens before he's 30.
Yeah, probably.
I think he could be, because I made a video about it a while ago.
I think Dom would be a great Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I think he could be.
They should have put it on Dom instead of Priest. That would have been better.
Well, I think Dom's going to be one of the next 5 champions for the world.
So wait, Priest still has the briefcase, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Priest is...
When the fuck is he going to catch
I think
in
he's
now?
literally going to wait until Money in the Bank. The very last minute.
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's what's going to happen.
At this point, you might as well.
Because that's what you're saying with the dark horse. If Drew wins the Rumble, Seth is not going to be... Maybe they'll do Cody. No, they would have to do... Seth won't be champion because he's not going to challenge Roman at Mania. Unless Roman loses the title, but I don't think Roman's going to lose the title if it's not at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I think Seth is going to have to lose the title, which means that Damian Priest would cash in. But then you would probably need someone to beat Priest for the title before Mania, because I don't know if they're going to do... Unless they may do Drew versus Priest. But then you're like, all right, Drew versus Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, that feels forced.
That's why I just think it's a slam dunk, Cody or CM Punk. I think Seth is going to eliminate or cost CM Punk the Royal Rumble match.
You think Cody goes the distance?
Yes, I think Cody enters at number 1.
It's what you got to do. He came out as 30 last year.
He's going to enter as number 1. Gunther's going to come out as 30. They're going to run back the match as the final 2. It's going to be amazing.
Ooh, having Cody do that to Gunther twice, though, I don't love that.
Yeah, but I think it would give reason to have Gunther go after Cody following WrestleMania.
That is also true. Have him lose at Mania.
Yeah.
Have Gunther lose at Mania? To who?
I said it once. I will die on this hill.
Ilya
Dragunov.
Yeah, I could see
Give
that
me
happening.
Ilya Dragunov.
I could see that happening at Mania this year.
You could. And listen, I just want this out there. I've been saying Ilya Dragunov for a while, so once it happens, I want the respect that I deserve. Because I think Ilya ended his reign when he was Walter NXT UK champ it was over 800 days. He ended that. He can do it again to Gunther. It would make sense. If it's not going to be Ilya, I think probably Ludwig or Tyler. Tyler Bate would be a good option.
Yeah, I was going to say
They just
Tyler
called
Bate.
him up.
All right, so let's just close it off talking about the Women's Rumble. Going over the Women's Rumble. Because you were saying you think the Women's Rumble is probably going to be better than the Men's Rumble.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to do something similar to what they did last year with the Men's Rumble, where they had 27 out of the 30 men they announced for the Rumble, which I think is a good thing. because I would rather see these young, talented guys than like the boogeyman.
Yeah.
These one-off guys. And I just think after we watch both, I'm going to think that the Women's Rumble is just better. In terms of who I think is going to win the Women's Royal Rumble, I think it's a slam dunk for Bayley. I think it's kind of a shame that she hasn't won the Royal Rumble yet. I know it's only been around since 2018, but she's been at the top of the women's division since 2018, and she hasn't won it yet. I don't really know who else would win.
Do you think Dakota could potentially win?
No.
No? Is she cleared to wrestle yet?
Probably not.
You think she would be cleared? Like, I know she's not right now, but do you think she could potentially?
No. I think
Kyrie?
No. I think if it's going to be anyone from Damage Control, it's going to be Bayley.
No, agreed. I also think it's going to be Bayley. I'm just trying to think of where else they can go.
I think they could do Bayley. They could potentially do Jade Cargill, but I don't think
I could
see
definitely
Becky.
see Becky winning. Is there any like dark horse NXT call ups? Like, is there a chance that like Roxanne Perez can get called up and win?
Yeah, I think Perez could because
I think she's getting called up.
I think so too.
And then this is her like on the main roster. I'd say probably the same for Stratton.
Her and Rhea have a little bit of history. I just don't. I don't know who's going to be the person to dethrone Rhea. Is kind of the problem. Besides, it probably feels like it's going to be Becky. But
you think so?
Probably.
No, I think it's gonna be. I could still see it being like. Who did I say before?
Before what?
Bro, there was somebody for the longest time. Oh, Shayna.
Yeah,
I'm
as
moving
much as
further away from that. Yeah,
as much as I want,
I'm moving further away from that.
I'm rooting for Shayna Baszler. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I'd say. What about I don't know. I just don't.
Liv. Oh yeah, we talked about Liv before.
Liv is definitely a potential winner.
Liv could be a potential winner. Dethrone Rhea. They obviously have history.
If Liv comes back, she's definitely like moves to the top as like favorite to win probably.
Yeah.
Do you think if Liv returns in the Rumble, is she the favorite to win now? Over Bayley? Because I think if Liv is in the Rumble, I think Bayley and Liv are easy 1 and 2. I think it should be Bayley.
I think
Bayley,
it depends.
Io, the story's there.
I think if Liv enters at like 30, then it's kind of just gonna be like, all right, she's gonna win.
Yeah.
But if she enters at like any like 10 through 20, then like okay, because I think like the thing is it also matters when you have her come out because obviously they like to have big returns later in the Rumble because everyone's hyped for it and then you get to see the win and then people freak out. So I think if it happens prior to like the last third of the match, then Bayley's still gonna win. But I think from like 21 to 30,
I'd say there's probably a pretty good chance.
If Liv enters, she's probably gonna win. I think there's a really good chance she makes her comeback. At the Royal Rumble, I think that's right now the top 3.
Well, you know what? You could even go. You can even get to Liv versus Rhea. You know what I mean? Without her winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
You could easily do that.
That's the other thing, too, with, like, what I was thinking for Bayley, because, like, I'm thinking Bayley versus Io. Bayley wins at WrestleMania. So you necessarily don't need Becky to win the Rumble to challenge Rhea. You don't necessarily need Liv Morgan to win the Rumble to challenge Rhea. Rhea can do, like, the classic, I've beaten everybody on the roster, especially after Elimination Chamber, and then Liv Morgan's like, you haven't beaten me or whatever.
Yeah.
We teamed together. I'm pretty sure they were the women's tag team champions at some point.
Yeah, they were.
She can, I know you better than you know yourself, that sort of thing. So I don't think Liv Morgan necessarily needs to win. I think right now, let's do like the 5 that they're talking about. Probably Bayley, Becky.
Bayley, Becky. Let's say Liv.
We'll say Liv.
Bayley, Becky, Liv.
Probably
Roxanne, maybe.
I feel like they're going to talk about Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
they'll
that's
talk about
4.
Bianca.
And then they'll probably have one more that's like a crazy person. Dark Horse.
Maybe they talk about...
Maybe they probably talk about Jade.
Yeah, they probably do. I really think they probably talk about Roxanne. I think she has a better chance than people think.
Probably.
I think she's going to be...
Do you think she has a better chance to win than Jade?
Yeah. Because I think I think they are comfortable bringing her up and having her be a primetime player in the women's division immediately.
I mean, you talk about young wrestlers. She's only 22.
And
she's real good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm also excited. I think I'm more excited for the women's Royal Rumble.
What about an AJ Lee return?
I think AJ Lee is returning at the Rumble.
You do?
Yeah.
Pretty
And
sweet.
I don't think it's because I know there was pictures of on that or a video that she posted of her and CM Punk, but that was from 6 months ago.
Gotcha.
That video, because it was her training for what's that show called on Stars? Heels.
Yeah.
It was when she was training for that. But I do think she does return. Do you think
she returns and is a part of the roster now, or do you think it's just
I think she probably just returns
for a nostalgia type return?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think she could return as I think she could wrestle. I don't know what her health status is.
Easily.
Because she had a pretty severe, I think it was a neck injury. But if she doesn't wrestle, she would obviously just be a great coach for the women. We'll end on this. Do you think Mercedes Moné returns? A lot of speculation. A lot of people saying she signed with AEW.
I do not think she's going to make her return. Okay. I would love it. I think WWE is where she belongs, to be completely honest with you. I think that's where she can be the star that she is, but she should do whatever makes her the happiest.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just don't. I think she's going to go back to WWE. I just don't think yet. I think she probably still wants to do some more outside of WWE. But I'd definitely be happy if I'm wrong. I would be totally happy to have her back.
Yeah, I think she does come back just because I just don't really believe the reports that.
I'm not saying it because of that report.
Yeah, I know. I just think it's for me, the more reports that I see that are she's not signed with WWE. Their negotiations fell out. Everything fell apart because she was asking for too much money. I'm like, dude, Triple H knows.
Yeah.
Triple H knows what's up. He knows Mercedes Moné's worth. Because they said that Charlotte Flair was making the most, I believe, and then Moné wanted more than Charlotte. Which, obviously, I don't know how much I believe. You can't really believe all of that stuff that, how would anybody know who's asking for what, especially with stuff like that. But I just think that she is going to come back. She's also only 31 years old, which is pretty bizarre. And I just think, Bayley wins the Rumble. Moné comes back. Damage Control, Bayley, Moné. And then they'll probably grab one more person. Bianca, form a little faction versus faction feud. So you let us know in the comments.
Let us know what you think.
You let us know who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble matches. Make sure to follow us on our socials at The Burning Hammer on everything except X. We are at The Burnt Hammer. We are on our way to 700 subscribers.
700.
That's a lot more than we had than the last time we recorded the podcast. So make sure to smash that subscribe button. Thank you guys for all of the support.
Subscribe button.
We really appreciate it. We officially hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, on Instagram. Obviously, you got to make sure to follow us on X. But that's going to wrap up the podcast. We are hoping to bring you guys the podcast more and more, but we do release videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We just record the podcast when we can. So, with that being said, we will catch you in the next video.
And as we say here at The Burning Hammer, live, laugh, love.